What up, it's me, the Gigi. Today I'll be showing you my book collection. Simple, straight to the point. I got this idea because I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, particularly, and she's inspired me to read more, and that's what I've been doing. And I've been looking at my cabinet full of books, and I found some that I've read and have not read. I have not read 14 books yet. Well, actually 13, because I finished one yesterday. And I am going to be showing you books that I've read that I own. There are some on here that were library books, and I'll be showing that or speaking about it as well. So without further ado, let me show you. So I don't know if this book counts, but this book is a math book. I didn't really read this front to back, but it has been helpful, and I thought might as well show it because maybe there's someone out there who is not really good at the subject and would like a book that has everything about it in it. Really helpful. Really helpful. I give this 5 stars because it made everything so simple. When I thought certain formulas were very complex or certain concepts did not make sense to me, this book simplified it so much. Number 1, that's the first book. This is, by the way, the order that I finished the book. So even though that doesn't count, the next one counts. Next is this Emotional Intelligence book by Gail Hansen. And this book was one of the first emotional intelligence books. It basically simplified our emotions and how you can be more confident and be more in knowledge and atone with your emotions. You see, I put tabs on here to know which chapter is where so that I know specifically so I can refer back to it. But if you want to get into emotional intelligence, I prefer this book to be the first book to read, since this was my first book, and it's very short and sweet, and I got a lot from this small book. But I give this 5 stars as well because it was just very straightforward, and it can teach you how to manage any negative emotions you may have, anger, anxiety, anything. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. This is by different authors. This one is not as straightforward. However, it does give you strategies on how to be more self-aware. And this book was easy for me to finish, and when I remember recalling it, it's kind of the same thing that the first one has, but a bit more in depth. And I feel like that's why it's called 2.0, because you'd think, you know it all, but it just adds more information. And this is also 5 stars because emotional intelligence is a really great topic to talk about, in my opinion. Next book that I have in line was a library book, and of course you have to return library books, so I don't have it. I mean, you don't have to return library books, but you want to. But it was The Hate You Give. I just put it on a index card. For those who know it, it turned into a movie. I never watched the movie. It's one of the few that I read before watching the movie. So The Hate You Give, I gave it 5 stars as well. But don't worry, like, not everything is all 5 stars. I mean, yeah, but this is a really great book. A lot of differences. I looked at all the differences compared to the movie, and there are differences. The book just it made me cry towards the end, and that was like one of the first times a book made me like sad. It's just very empowering. I highly recommend the book, and of course I hope I get to watch the movie in the future sometime as well. Another one that I have read that I don't have with me, since we're on the topic of library books, I also read Stargirl, love Stargirl, and I also read Becoming Nicole. And those three books, they were a requirement, but not really. Like, we had to choose a book to read for school, and those were the books that I chose. So even though it was an assignment, I was still interested in reading it. And I know Stargirl has 2 movies, and I have not yet watched any of them. So the next book that I have, that I finished actually last year, Scott Lang, Look Out for the Little Guy. If you're a huge Marvel fan like me, this book is not really necessary to read, but it does give you context on his past and things that the movies do not answer. And it's just more of what he was thinking of in his mind, and I really love that in the back. Oh, I hit my face. In the back it has reviews from like the actual superheroes like Doctor Strange and Clint Barton, let's see, Bruce Banner, Sam Wilson, and yeah, it's a really funny book, to be honest. However, I will give it 4.5 stars. Reason being is because I felt like it was too short. And I know I didn't know what to expect. I honestly thought this would be a bit longer, but it was a very short read for me. And I was so excited for the book to come out, and then when I saw it was just this thin, I was kind of sad about it. And inside here are frequently asked Ant-Man questions. FAAMQ. Frequently asked Ant-Man. Yeah, that is in here, and I thought they're really cool segues away from the actual chapters. It occurs a few times in this book, and it was pretty cool. Now the next book I have is a part of a series. It's Animal Crossing. There's a book 1. I have book 3. However, I do not have book 2, so I can't continue the series if I don't have a book 2. But so far, I read book 1, and it is a manga, and it's really cool. This has mini stories in it that are very interesting to me. I mean, you follow along with these 4 characters. They're like best friends, and one's like sleepy all the time, the other one's very adventurous. They have different personalities, and I really like how they included this into Animal Crossing, especially since I play the game. I really like playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now the next book is a new one that I got, and I read it the first day that I got it, and it was a fast read for me. I'm not even kidding. This is a really good book. This was like, look at this. Look at the price. It was on clearance at Walmart. It's $1.79. Like, that's a steal. Basically following Wonder Woman, and she's trying to capture the ones who got out, but in a more fun way, playful way. Like, I won't spoil it because, you know, for those who want to read it, but I really liked it because, first of all, it's Funko Pop. Like, that's super cool. And yeah, this was just a really great book. I forgot to rate the other one. I give the other one actually 3 stars. This one has to be 3 stars as well, because this was too short and it was too easy to read, but it was $1. If I go back to this one, I do give it 3 stars because I felt like some stories were they weren't really connecting. It's more of just stories put together and into one book. They don't really come together, if that makes sense. Like chapter 1, 2, 3, they go together, right? But this one is more of like, okay, this story is with this story and this story, let's just put it all in one book. I don't know if I would need to get book 2 because of the way that they made the books. I'm not sure, but I don't wanna skip like a series, you know, so I'll just wait for that. The 5th book that I finished last year, this is Bible for Children. This was a CCD book for Sunday school that I was given, and we were given assignments sometimes to read them, but we never went through the whole book. And I realized that when I was younger, I don't even think I read what was needed because there was nothing to fill out. So I read the whole thing front to back. It has Old Testament and New Testament. It's really cool book. I really like the art in here. If you want to look for this book, it's very simplified, the way that they this is my mic. Now for this upcoming books, I have 5 more books to show, and then I'll show my the ones I'm currently reading. The first book that I finished this year, I finished this book in 1 week. The House of My Mother, Frankie, sorry. I had to swallow something. She was the oldest sister of the 8 Passengers family on YouTube. I don't want to rate this one because this is her life story, and I really like when I first started reading like memoirs or like biographies in general. Someone said that they don't personally rate books that it's about someone's life because who are they to judge? And I figured the same thing. I didn't think of it actually because when I rate books, I'm not rating it usually based on the story. I'm just based on how they wrote it. So yeah, this book, I learned a lot about YouTube vlogging and her views. She strongly shows them also on her social media, and I really like how well dedicated she is to the cause and just how she is as an older sibling trying to take care of her younger siblings. Moving on, the next book that I read is a saint's book, Padre Pio. This book is his journal. It was translated into English. This book opened up a lot for me about faith and how even saints had a journey through faith. Not everything is a straight road. He most definitely went through a lot. I don't want to like spoil it, but Padre Pio is very important saint to me personally, since he was the one that I chose, and it was about his stigmata, which he had. He had the same place where Jesus had his nails on his hands. He had those wounds as well. It just amazed me how well he writes. 5 stars, 6 if I could go over. This is the 3rd book that I finished this year. This is this book I finished since it was in February. I finished this book in March. I'll say February, March. Since the first book, The House of My Mother, I finished it in a week of January, and then Padre Pio took January, February, and this was February, March. So this book is Superman Dawnbreaker. Sorry. This is one of the few from the series, the DC Icons. I have Catwoman and Wonder Woman that I have not read yet. I know they have a Harley Quinn, or two or three Harley Quinn ones that I have not yet read either. I don't know if I will. But this one I give 4 stars because me personally, I felt like although the story took place in Smallville, I felt like there were some parts that were not, I'm not sure if they were comic book related. Certain characters in here, other than like Lex Luthor and like Lana Lane or even Lois Lane, I know they were from the comic books, but there were some characters on here that I wasn't sure if they were actually in the comic books of Superman, and I don't know if they meant to do that intentionally or not. But if they were, then I changed my mind to 5 stars. But now this book I am going to show next is I finished it 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and it's I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This book I will not rate yet again. However, talking about it, I learned a lot about her, and I understand more on why she did not want to be a part of the reboot, and very understandable. I mean, once you read it. I also realized that every time I watched like a kids show like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, I never see the person portraying the character as they are, but as the character that they are portraying. So to me, before reading the book, to me she was always Sam, but after reading the book I see her as Jeanette McCurdy, as who she is and as who she's always been, and that's just something that I learned about myself, and I feel like others may do this as well. If you see her in the street, you're like, hey Sam, you know, but she's Jeanette. That's her name. This next book I finished yesterday. I don't know what I was gonna say last week. I started it last week and I finished it yesterday. It was long overdue. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This book, I bought this when I was in middle school when it came out. I bought it and then I found it in my cabinet, and I was like halfway. I was in chapter 14 and I had only like 11 left, so I just finished it. I read 85 pages yesterday to finish the book, and now that it's done, I feel like I give it 3.5 stars. I feel like during the time that it came out, it would have been 5 stars if I finished it during that time, but now that I read it now with all these different books that are out, I feel like I give it a 3.5, maybe a 4 actually. You know, I'm gonna give it a 4 because this book, it has struggles, and I feel like where I thought the book would end, there was still more to the story. And I feel like there's a certain part towards the end of the book actually that had like a time jump, and I felt like they could have added something more to the time jump, but I know the author did that specific time jump because it made sense, and in a way it was very poetic. But me personally, I wish I would have seen more, and I hope you know what I mean, but then again, I don't know if you know what I mean. Anyways, now I'm going to show you the books that I am currently reading. But yeah, those were all the books that I've read so far, but not really, because some were libraries. So those are actually books that I own that I've read, I guess. And then if you want to see my TBR, I can also show that in a separate video. That would be very interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. I noticed that a few of you are not subscribed. It's a bit better than the last time that I discussed this, but still, support small channels like. See you next time. Peace.